Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, coming through beautifully. What's your name?
Excellent. My name's John. I'm from Iowa, and I just want to talk some general thoughts about the Democratic platform.
Go for it.
Basically, it really strikes me basically all the Clinton and all her surrogates basically seem to have completely. You could tell they've grown accustomed to the thought of always getting their way,
Hmm.
and it strikes me that their attitudes towards Bernie Sanders and his supporters, having demands of the Democratic Party, it's incomprehensible to them, and they've really lost touch of what a large political party is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a coalition of different groups whose interests aren't always necessarily aligned. In fact, sometimes they might even be contradictory towards one another, but they've agreed that it's in their common interest that they vote for the same people and they will all share in the political power. But the only way you can enforce that uneasy truce among that coalition is to give concessions to each of the groups.
Right.
And that the Clinton people have not done that it blows my mind. They're it's just, as you can tell, I'm a Bernie Sanders person, obviously. And it strikes me, if I was a really cynical kind of Clinton surrogate, my approach to this would probably be, throw them a bone, these weird leftists. Just it's not like the platform's binding or anything.
Right.
Just throw them a bone, let them
Right.
have this victory, let them have their day, and then and then we could say, hey, okay, we conceded. Now you guys will come vote for us, right? But they just won't.
even do that.
They're so
Yeah.
adamant about stomping us out. And when you consider that Bernie Sanders got 45% of the pledged delegates, and so by extension 45% of the popular vote in the primary,
Yep.
I mean, I understand why from their perspective. This is basically the tactic they've been able to do to win presidential elections, just run on that fear of, well, you're not going to let the Republicans win, right? But this time it's like, no, you don't understand. Like, the scale of the resentment towards the establishment this year is way too big for them. So anyway, just some general thoughts I need to get off my chest because, oh man, everything about the platform just made me so angry this weekend.
Yeah. No, those are some great points, man. Thanks so much for that call. And you're right, man. It's like they're not even. We're going to be mentally ambidextrous before we're done with this election. All right. Now I'm going to say what I have to say. They're so arrogant that they don't believe they have to give a single inch. They're so arrogant that they believe they have a very specific worldview, and they are expecting a totalitarianism, right? They're expecting everyone to be on board with that view without any variation, and any variation must be crushed. Because how else could you explain them not being willing to even give a Democratic platform, which is pretty much ignored for all intents and purposes? They're not even willing to give some meaningful concessions on that. And I don't think it's because they believe they can scare people into voting for them this time around. I think they really believe in they believe that Hillary Clinton is going to receive the Obama coalition. They really believe that that the working class vote is diminishing so much that it can almost be disregarded. I think they're betting there. I think they're betting there more than anything else, because if this was about them thinking they could scare people away from or scare people to Hillary Clinton, then they wouldn't be spitting in their eyes of, like, right now they are still, some of her top surrogates are out here trying to do their best to literally crush Bernie Sanders and his supporters. So to me, it's really not about them trying to salvage anything. To me, I think they are saying, go your way. And until what happened in the Democratic platform was not anything to bring unification, period. End of discussion. And so they are too obsessed with getting exactly what they want. And this is, I've been telling you, I've been saying it, that the Clintons don't know when to stop. And that is the source of probably 90% of their scandals, of the scandals that were actually real. They don't know when to stop. They overestimate their ability to get away with certain things. And in this case, they don't know when to stop. Or they just simply don't care. They don't care. And they feel like they can win, which is another form of them not knowing when to stop. Now, this is what I mean by being mentally ambidextrous. This does not mean that I can sit idly by and allow someone who is equally neoliberal as Hillary Clinton, someone who would be equal on foreign policy as Hillary Clinton. I don't care what you say. Donald Trump does not have enough consistent policies and a consistent ideology to not be controlled by the Republican machine. Donald Trump is in it for Donald Trump, and he would allow the Republican machine, this militarization, this military industrial complex. He would allow that machine to do what it always has done. I cannot sit back and sit idly and let someone who is equally as neoliberal and gives voice to neo-fascism to get in power. Doesn't mean I support Hillary Clinton. No, does not.